What's going on, collectors? Welcome into Ross Loves Cards. Today, since my Royals have been winning a game or two, I thought it'd be a good time to share a Royal card or two. So I decided to share with you all my favorite Royal of all time. You might have seen my Strongsville recap. I done some swapping with Jayhawker Mike for this card. It's a 2013 Bowman game-worn patch with a sticker auto. This was my first Yordano Ventura card. You can see on the back, it says ARYV, Auto Rookie, Yordano Ventura. Really like this card. I'm glad it was the first Ventura card that I picked up. And I know for some people, that might be strange to hear, that Yordano was my favorite Royal of all time. When I say favorite Royal of all time, I don't mean the best Royal of all time. That, without a doubt, would have been George Brett. I think pretty easily. But, I was 6 years old when George Brett retired. I know who George Brett is, know what he has meant to the team. You all know, if you can watch my videos, I'm doing a run of George Brett and Robin Yount. So I love George Brett, but he's not my favorite Royal because I didn't get to watch him play. When I was 5, where I live, I doubt the Royals was ever on TV. We only had like 5 channels, but I never seen Royals play a baseball game. But at that point in time, I've seen several since then. Then when I was growing up, I guess probably Mike Sweeney would have been as close to my favorite back then in the, late 90s, early 2000s. But favorite all-time Royal for me is Yordano Ventura. And I want to show you some cards. I've picked up 3 since Strongsville. This card was inspired by Nerding Out with Cards by John. He's been showing his Yachty Topps Gold run. If you haven't watched that, don't pause this, finish my video, but then you can go back and watch that. John Nerding Out with Cards. That's got me interested in these. I was texting him some back and forth. And got me to looking up different Royals. And of course, I like Salvador Perez and Bobby Witt, and I was looking at different ones. And I actually got a card with both of them on it that John pointed out to me. I don't have it here handy, or I'd show it to you, so you guys may have to wait for a later time for that. But I also looked up Yordano Ventura to see if he had a gold card. Now, this isn't the gold card numbered to whatever the year is. But this is his minor league cards, what I would call it. It was in 2013, Topps, card number 131. And he's playing for the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. What's neat about that is that's probably about 3.5 hours from where I live. But the St. Louis AA team is about 1.5 hours from where I live, the Springfield Cardinals. And I've been up there to watch, a few games. And a time or two, they was playing the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. I actually seen former Royal starting pitcher, like in 2019, I think was his rookie year. Maybe he was a closer. But anyways, Tim Hill. I seen him with the Naturals play up in Springfield. But I got to pick up this gold card. And I think it's a good-looking card, Like I said, I love, as the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. That is a mouthful for a team name, though. But anyways, I love that it's that, and it's to my region. That's right there in the Ozark part of it's far stretch of the Ozarks, but it's in the Ozarks part of the world. But this card isn't numbered to 2013. It is numbered to 50. And this is card 16 out of 50. Now this, even though that's the case, this was not an expensive card. I didn't have to take out a real big loan to buy it. I can't remember how much it was. I believe it was less than $10. It could have been half that. It was a cheap card. it was cheap enough. There's 2 on there, and I thought, hey, maybe I should see if I could collect them all. But I want everybody else to share in the joy of having this card. So, that was my first card I've picked up here recently. And that kind of got me looking at other Yordano Ventura cards. And I found this. Topps Finest Rookie Auto. You can see right here, RAYV. This one was ARYV. So I guess since that was the auto rookie and this is the rookie auto. Yordano Ventura. And I tell you what, I love this card. I love the looks of the back of this card. And if Topps Finest wasn't written on that, I think everybody would guess that's what company this was. I've always liked Topps Finest cards. Actually, I don't have that many of them. I've got a few. But I've always liked Topps Finest. And look at that on-card auto. I'm going to show this card again. The Royals are blue. One of my favorite colors, blue autos. I love blue Sharpie autos. My favorite color of auto. Of course, if I was a Cardinal fan, I'd probably think red autos are the best. I may do that. I may try to go get some Cardinals cards with red autos just to prove that point. But yeah, I love the blue autos, me being a Royals fan, and love this card. I love this rookie card logo. I don't know if you all into modern or, yeah, this is modern, I guess, but I call modern, kind of anything from the 80 to now. I know some people have ultra modern, they got retro type stuff. I don't know. But anyways, I love this RC logo. There we go. That Topps has, they got them on that and the Bowman, and I'm telling you what, I can't do that today. Can't get it to focus, but I love that logo. I've actually thought about seeing how many Bobby Witt cards with that logo on it that I could collect, that I like or think's reasonable money price. But I just think that's an awesome looking card. 2014 is when I became, I say acquainted, when I became aware of Yordano Ventura. Sometimes I feel like it, but me and him, we didn't go fishing on the weekends together. But he was an aggressive pitcher. He was a confident pitcher. I love to see him come into games. I gotta admit, this morning I was watching highlights of him going back, and then I was going to see some fights. You know what? Every fight that he got in, he brought on himself. It was like nobody, as far as I know, he wasn't afraid to instigate stuff. Now, he wouldn't, run from the fight either, but he was aggressive. He'd pitch inside. He'd hit batters. And, he wouldn't, from what I've seen, he wouldn't wait for them to get to him. What fights he was in, he was walking towards them when it was going down. And I just loved his confidence. I love to be around self-confident people. Some people might I think it's kind of funny and comical, and you just know who they are, and that's okay. I'm personally not that guy. People can run him down and say, he has too much of an attitude. Well, if I was 23, 24 years old and a professional baseball player, I'd probably have an attitude too. I'd like to think not. But, I probably had an attitude at 19 and had no reason to. But, yeah, I just loved his confidence he would have. And I loved his arm, how fast he could throw. Always exciting to watch him throw. Just amazing. And, we got to see him pitch. He was the starting pitcher of the ALCS Game 2, 2015, which the Royals won, by the way. I've done a video over that, my favorite game ever. Now, he did not win this game. I believe that went to Herrera in the 7th when the Royals had 5 runs in the 7th. But it was awesome. I'll put this picture up if I didn't. My wife took a picture of this before the game. And, just seeing him on there, she knows my favorite player. And I don't know how many pictures she took of that game. But him pitching, we was so excited the whole way there. Looking forward to seeing that. And, a couple years later, I guess it was January 22nd of 2017, he had a car wreck that killed him, I believe at home in the Dominican Republic. And this card right here, I'd say this is one of his last cards. This is a 2017 Topps Heritage. I talk about blue, liking that blue. I love the look of that blue glove right there. He's got the blue glove, the blue hat, the blue sky behind him. Boy, I wish I could have a blue auto right there. And maybe let this color be blue. But anyways, if anybody at Topps Heritage is watching this, call me. I've got some ideas. I'll help you guys out. This card's special to me because, I'm guessing it's his last card. It's the year he died. But it's also, Heritage looks like the 1968 Topps. And my last video, you can see how well I like that card. But anyways, I was going to go down a different road there. But yeah, I love this card when I went and seen it. And I love how the backs look like the same year, the 68s. I said Topps Heritage can call me with ideas. You guys do better than I can on this. But you can still call me. But he died the 22nd, and on the 28th, my wife was going to be up in Kansas City at a work function. And it was the same weekend as Royals Fan Fest. And we've been planning, for months. So, hey, we're going to go up to Royals Fan Fest. And I tell you what, if you're a Royals fan, go to Royals Fan Fest. Or what year we went, they'd have booths set up. I remember looking at cards, pictures. I actually bought a signed picture of Drew Butera. That was worth the money. I'm just kidding. I'm glad I still bought it. I don't know where it's at, actually, to tell the truth. But my favorite backup catcher was Drew Butera at that point in time. But it was cool to see. They had a stage where they could get up and talk and stuff. And you could go through. Me and my wife, we'd stand, got a picture in front of both trophies, the 1985 and the 2015. We got pictures by both of them, both of the trophies. And I tell you what, it was just cool to be there and going and looking through. But they did have a room sectioned off. And it was kind of dark in there with 2 things lit up on display. They did have 2 big cards. By big cards, I mean they was like, huge pieces of paper or cardstock, whatever, that you could sign a note and send it to his mom. They was going to send it to the Dominican. And I believe this wreath that they had made, I think they was going to send that as well, along with some other things. And you can look at that wreath. And when I think about Royals Fan Fest, I think about that right there. That's just that's an awesome display. You know what? I didn't play baseball, but I may just try to tell my wife I want a wreath like that at my funeral. And put my favorite number in it. Just have people talking, like, hey, did Ross play baseball? They're like, no, he just liked it. But anyways, I may run that by her. But just that wreath, I just thought was awesome. And then this picture right here, where they had the mound, the number. Boy, I tell you what, I couldn't stop thinking about that picture. Them 2 setups, those 2 displays. But I just wanted to get on here, share with you why I like Yordano Ventura so much. If some of you, if you're a fan of other teams, you may not like them. And I 100% understand that. But he was just, like I said, my favorite Royal of all time. So I hope you all have enjoyed looking at my cards of him, ones I've picked up recently. If not, maybe hearing my interaction. I didn't interact with him, but maybe hearing some of the reasons why I liked him. Hope you enjoyed that. But I guess I'll just, since I keep saying words wrong, it's just as good a spot to end it as any. I appreciate y'all. We'll see you the next time.